What's poppin' soul family, and welcome back to my channel. So today's pick a card was actually inspired by the recent supermoon. So in today's reading, we are going to be spilling the tea on what you really need to release and like what you really need to heal. So it's going to be kind of like a shadow work type of pick a card, hence why the aesthetic is a little bit differently than what I normally go for. So before we get started, if you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below. And if you are interested in any of the decks that we will be using for today's pick a card, those will also be available for purchase on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below as well. And without further ado, we're going to go on ahead and jump into your pile choices now. Alrighty, you guys, so here are the 4 groups that you have to choose from today. We have group number 1 with Elders, group number 2 with Bat, group number 3 with Divination, and group number 4 with Witch. So go on ahead and take a moment to choose the card that you feel the most drawn to today. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose, you guys, and whenever you are ready, I will meet you at your reading. The timestamps for each card will be available down in the description box below for your convenience. Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 1 with Elders. And the bottom of the card says, birthed from seed within the belly of the moon. They are the wise felt touches over our hearts and felt deep within the marrow of our spirit. Okay, so what needs to be released? Okay, I feel like it is some type of ancestral trauma. Okay, now I feel as though growing up, you guys had elders that sort of taught you that just because you feel something super duper deep and super duper strong, and even if that something isn't quite right, that you're supposed to suppress it just for like to naturally appease the needs of other people. Or to like remain socially acceptable. Like, I feel like I'm about to be choked saying this, but like we have this card here that starts off as everything is fine. Now this is actually the Ten of Swords, so this particular deck has 2 Ten of Swords cards, but this particular one says everything is fine. It's the same image and everything. So it's like your elders taught you growing up that 1, you were supposed to respect them, and 2, that you are not to step to them even if they are wrong about something. And I think we all know that just because somebody is your elder doesn't mean that they are right about everything, okay? To be honest with you, them the motherfuckers that need the most healing out of all of us, you know what I'm saying, on a collective level. And I mean no disrespect saying this, but I do feel like you guys had the type of elders around you that used to kind of command respect and like command that you just naturally respect them, even if there was nothing that they have done to show that they deserve respect, or even if they didn't respect you because you were younger than them, right? So I'm getting like a lot of the elders around you literally traumatized you by expecting you to just bite your tongue and pretend that everything is fine in situations where, you know, they were not, okay? Now, if this is not your family, or if this is not the type of situation that you grew up in, then obviously this is not your reading, because I'm getting elders that wanted you to just suppress everything, okay? Like literally everything. If it goes against their morals and their values, you can't say it, you can't speak on it, okay? We also have the King of Pentacles. Some of you might have come from a wealthy family, or a family that had to work and grind very hard in order to provide, even if it's like to provide the bare minimum for you. I also feel like maybe a lot of you guys didn't necessarily get the mental health treatment that you might have needed growing up. You kind of had to do it all on your own. But with the King of Pentacles next to the everything is fine card, I feel like your family was really willing to sacrifice your like mental health and well-being to kind of maintain this image of, you know, a stable family. I'm specifically getting like the masculine energies, the father figures. You know, some of you might not have had a father figure, but whoever it was that was like the head of household, I feel as though they implemented this idea within you that you had to work extremely hard in order to attain any type of success. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, that is something that I completely disagree with, okay? The idea that I have to break my spine in order to attain any type of success, and all I have to do really to be successful, and all you have to do really to be successful, is to walk in alignment with your path, to walk in alignment with your life purpose. Once you start doing that, okay, which is not an easy journey, but once you start doing that, you will naturally just align with success in just a matter of time. Okay. Also, with the High Priestess card, I feel as though you need to release that notion that you have to suppress your intuition to appease other people. If a motherfucker is not sitting right with you, you have no reason to sit and pretend. And I feel like that's like what your family members, the type of stuff that your family members were on. They expected you to sit and pretend like everything was fine when intuitively you knew that shit wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, like with the High Priestess card, how this applies to me? When I was 3 years old, I was put into a Catholic school. And from the time that I was at that Catholic school, from preschool until 4th grade, everything that they were teaching us, I just kind of intuitively knew that something was wishy-washy about it, but I couldn't say anything because, you know what I'm saying, like, everybody would have just suppressed me and told me that I was wrong, so I had to kind of pretend that everything was fine. It's like shit like that. Y'all kind of had to suppress your natural God-given spiritual abilities, your intuitive abilities, in order to appease your family or to appease the elders around you, because you were taught that that was what was socially acceptable. That's what you were supposed to do. And like I said, the moment that you start walking in alignment with your life purpose, when you start disregarding what makes everybody else happy and you just start kind of focusing on the things that make you happy and the things that you're passionate about, it will naturally just kind of fall into place for you. You'll become very, very happy. This is how you release this. You got to release that trauma that your elders kind of projected onto you, right? With the 8 of Pentacles. So this clarified the everything is fine card. So another thing that I feel like a lot of your elders might have like put on you is like, you need to really bust your ass in school. And some of you guys aren't even neurotypical. Some of you guys are neurodivergent. These are my kids that might have the ADHD, that might have the anxiety, that might have the OCD, that might have something. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. But I am getting that there is something about you that just functions a little bit differently from everybody else. So it's not really fair to hold you to the same type of standards and expect the same type of result, right? And I just feel like your family was really hard on you about that. But I feel like you release this. Like, this is an example of somebody doing schoolwork, right? But I feel like you release this if this schoolwork right here becomes more so like the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're really invested in. For me, that's tarot. So this is me in my like tarot element, you know, like putting my energy towards the things that really matter to me, that I'm really passionate about. And I just believe that that's naturally going to help me to attain abundance and to attain success. And that's the same thing that you kind of have to do in order to break free from that pattern, because maybe a lot of your elders or like your ancestors, you know, they didn't necessarily get the chance to do the things that they were passionate about, to walk that path of abundance. They were taught that if they wanted to attain any type of abundance, they had to bust their ass at something that they didn't even like doing. Okay, if some of you guys, they were forced to do this, and so naturally this is just something that they taught the younger generations, is that if you want something, you're gonna have to bust your ass and in order to be successful, and literally break your back. And that's why a lot of the elders maybe in your family, they might struggle with health issues and stuff like that because of all of the repressed trauma that they're holding on to. So that's why it's really important that you release the shit, so that when you decide to have kids, if you decide to have kids, you don't have to implement the same bullshit, so that they don't have to heal from the same shit that you're healing from. Okay, and you can heal from this by focusing on your own happiness and moving forward. And in the process of doing so, you just have to make sure that you're kind of putting yourself on the pedestal. You can't listen to what everybody else has to say, because everybody don't know anything. Just because, okay, and this is going to offend a lot of people, and I'm not sorry about it, but just because somebody is your elder does not mean that they know more than you. They might have had more experience than you in this lifetime, but I have a strong feeling that you might be the one who, you might have come out the baby, okay? Or you might have come out as one of the younger ones, but you have an older and a wiser soul. You've been here, you know, quite a few times, you guys. Like, Yeah, I had somebody in my family who, I will not name names, but I had somebody in my family who literally came at me completely sideways, like last month, completely fucking sideways, and was basically projecting this whole idea of like basically telling me that I'm gonna go to hell, right? And then I told her, I was like, you know, you're wrong, and I don't even believe in the shit that you believe in, because everything that you believe in is rooted in fear, and that's why I'm kind of excluding myself from whatever the fuck you got going on. And she told me that I needed to respect my elders. And I had to, you know, kind of politely explain to her that unfortunately I've lost all respect for you due to the way that you move, because you just don't move right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like you don't always have to have that conversation, especially if it's not like, if you just feel like there's no point. But sometimes they kind of put this idea in our mind that just because they are older than us, that makes us inferior to them. And that is kind of unfortunate, because a lot of us younger folks like us Gen Zs and us like millennials, you know, we're the ones with the old souls, okay? And that's just what I gotta say. So we have the next card we have here says the deer spirit, which says bring a gentle touch. And then we have the wombat spirit, which says be at home. So how can you release this? How can you release this? How can you heal from this? Okay, be soft with yourself. Be soft with yourself. Grant yourself the same compassion, the same love, the same respect that you have always needed growing up. You got to be the one to provide that for yourself first. Okay. And I think that there might have been a lot of times where maybe you kind of needed to be sheltered a little bit. Like you kind of needed, to just kind of feel safe. You know, I don't know much about the wombat, but I think the wombat kind of buries itself underground in order to, you know, be safe and protected. There were times where you kind of needed that in order to feel safe. And when you tried to provide that for yourself, you just kind of were left alone to just kind of sit in your own pain. Spirit is saying that in order to heal from this, you have to be soft with yourself, and you have to allow yourself the same grace and the compassion that you have always needed growing up, that your quote unquote elders were supposed to provide for you and didn't, because nobody provided it for them. You got to be the one to provide it for yourself. That's how you heal. That's how you release the bullshit. That's how you release the weight of what is considered socially acceptable, you know, and what's not. So that is my advice to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 1 for what needs to be released and how it is that you can heal from what needs to be released. So let me know down in the comments how this reading resonated for you guys. If you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below. And if you're interested in any of the decks that we use for today's tarot reading, we did use the Spirit Animal Oracle cards as well as the Modern Witch Tarot deck. This is the cover for it. And we also used the, I don't even remember what it's called. I think it's like the Divine Witch Oracle or something. I'm going to announce it in my next couple pick of cards because I put it back on the shelf over there. But yeah, you guys, those will be all available for purchase on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below. Be sure to check that out if that is something you are interested in. Once again, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye. Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 2 with Bat. And the bottom of the card says, invoke thy power and fear not the hidden. What lurks is coming with undenying change. Okay, so this is my pile specifically that can feel like a major change just welling up inside of you, and not just inside of you, but you feel like something big is coming. And I feel like this is something that you might have felt for a while, maybe even years. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, I'm getting that there's this need for you guys to step into your power, because we have the Page of Wands reversed. I feel like this is somebody who maybe is lacking in drive and in motivation, somebody who really feels stuck or held back or blocked or some type of way, somebody who might have ambitions that they kind of can't really act on for whatever reason. And then we also have the Six of Pentacles and the Tower card reversed. Okay, so for some of you guys, I feel as though this could pertain to like maybe some type of relationship or something, where you feel like you wasted your time and your energy and your effort. But a lot of you guys, I feel as though you fear change. Like I'm getting this energy like you fear change. You fear major change, and yet you know it's coming, right? You don't like the idea of knowing that something is coming and knowing that there's nothing that you can do about it. It makes you feel like powerless for a lot of you guys that chose this pile. What else do we have here? With the Six of Pentacles reverse, I feel like y'all are terrified of like wasting your time. I think part of not liking change and part of being fearful of change has to do with the fear of like wasting your time and wasting your energy and wasting your effort on things that you already kind of invested in. Like, this is like a major fear for you. Also, I feel like you guys kind of need to release and heal the idea that you wasted time on someone or you wasted time on something. Listen to me, nothing in life is a waste of time if you've learned from it, right? It only feels like a waste of time if you've taken nothing from it. Okay, so y'all might have had a lot of relationships that were incredibly unfulfilling, and you look back and you're like, fuck, I feel like I wasted all of my time on this person that just doesn't deserve me, that doesn't deserve to experience me, right? But the truth is you only gonna perceive it that way if you didn't learn shit from the relationship. So let's say you were in a relationship with somebody who just didn't reciprocate shit, right? Didn't reciprocate shit, didn't invest in you, constantly put you on the back burner, and now you're hurt. Now you're upset. Now you're looking at the universe like, bitch, why would you send me this motherfucker? You know this motherfucker not ready to love me. And the universe is just looking back at you like, because you weren't ready to love yourself. I just had to show you all the ways that you were treating yourself, right? And that might be kind of a hard pill to swallow, but Spirit is saying that what needs to be released is that idea and that fear surrounding wasting your time, wasting your energy, wasting your effort. You got to start taking shit from your experiences that you have. Yes, even the fucking negative ones, okay? And I'm not justifying anything wrong that anybody has done for you. I'm not saying that you guys deserve to be put on the back burner or that you guys deserve a lot of the shit that has happened to you, especially in your personal relationships. But what I am saying is that if you take the focus off of what happened to you and why a situation hurt you, and you put it back into, okay, what the fuck was I supposed to learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I use this as a catalyst to make me better and to make my life better? I'm telling you, you're just going to start seeing shit differently, and it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to like move forward. Okay, so how can you release this? You release this by moving forward. Okay, with the Two of Wands here, this is somebody who kind of seems like she's patiently waiting for somebody else, but this card is actually a symbol of two people kind of moving forward on the same path, or two energies kind of moving forward on the same path. So instead of focusing on all of the shit that didn't work out, right, and telling the universe, this is what I don't want, this is what I don't want to experience, this is what I don't want to go through again, you got to kind of put your focus and your energy into telling the universe, okay, this is what I do want. This is what I do want to experience. These are the type of people that I do plan on, aligning with. And then naturally, I'm just hearing that's just kind of how it's going to work out. Like, you can't be fixated on all of the things that you don't want. And I'm feeling like, because when you do this, it's like you do it from a place of not being in your power. Right? The Two of Wands, she is a businesswoman and she is fully in her power, right? And then we also have the Six of Cups. You have to heal your inner child. Okay, I kind of had to give a similar message to group number 1, but group number 2, I'm feeling like you got to start giving yourself the things that you've been needing in order to not repeat the same experiences over and over and over again. You kind of have to be willing to provide for yourself the things that you've needed in relationships. So what are you not getting enough of? Do you feel as though you're not getting enough time? Do you feel as though you're not getting enough energy? Do you feel like you're not getting enough effort? Do you feel like you're wasting your time on somebody? Or did you waste your time on somebody? Okay, so can you take all of that energy and kind of turn it on yourself a little bit? Like, okay, so give yourself some more time. Maybe give yourself a little bit more energy. Give yourself a little bit more effort. And I could hear somebody over there saying, how? How can I do that? It's going to look different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? How do I give myself a little bit more time, a little bit more energy, a little bit more effort? You know what I'm saying? I do my hair. for the week. You know, I'll do a little makeup, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll kind of lengthen my self-care routine. Those are different things that I do. It's going to look different for y'all. Maybe journaling is something that I do. I spend more time on myself. Instead of thinking about somebody else before I make a decision, I just think about myself a lot of the times because I have to be kind of selfish. When I do that, and that shit cleanses my energy. That shit clears out my energy when I focus on myself, when I specifically focus on giving myself what it is that I need. Kind of view this as your inner child, you guys. You giving your inner child what he or she has always needed. This is going to lead to a whole nother world of clarity, y'all, a whole nother world. So instead of fearing change so heavily, right, to the point where you're allowing it to hold you back from actually doing what it is the fuck that you want to do and moving freely, tell the universe what it is that you want instead of what it is that you don't want, right? Start journaling that shit. Start writing that shit. Start focusing on that shit, because it's clear here with the bottom of the card. Invoke thy power and fear not the hidden. What lurks is coming with undenying change. Yo, real shit, that shit sound like a Bible verse for real. But yeah, don't be scared of the unknown. Do not be scared of the unknown, okay? Because the unknown holds a lot of what it is that you want, okay? That's what I'm going to say. And also we have the snake card, which says time to heal. Some of y'all might be deathly afraid of snakes and amphibians and reptiles, or just all of that shit that slithers. But yeah, time to heal. So when you think of a shake, you think of like shedding your layers, shedding your old skin. The Tower card, a lot of what you guys are fearful of, a lot of what you guys are scared of, like the main thing you need to release is that fear of change and that fear of wasting your time. Because it's like you have this idea that because shit is changing around you, that automatically means that you wasted your time on everything in the past. And like, that's just not the case, you guys. That's just not the case. I literally just knocked all the boxes over, you guys. So I feel like that's that's like a symbol of the Tower moment. Mind you, when the Tower card is reversed, that's a change that you have plenty of time to prepare for. Okay, that's how I read it. That's how I interpret it. Also, we have the Porcupine Spirit, which says time for a beginner mind. Okay, when I read this, it just gives me clean slate vibes. It's time for a clean slate. It's time for you to start over again. It's time for you to evaluate what's important to you with the Ace of Swords. Hence why I said a whole new world of clarity. It's time for you to kind of clean your slate. This Tower card, whatever Tower moment might be coming up, and it might not even be something major. It could even be just you finding out something about someone, or you discovering something about yourself, or you sitting with yourself thinking, oh, maybe that's why I think the way that I think, or maybe that's why I view men this way because of the way that my dad did this, or maybe that's why I don't want to give to people so much anymore because I got hurt so bad by this person, you know? Or like, it's gonna look different for everybody. Everybody come with a different story attached to them, okay? You gotta figure out, you gotta be the one to start writing your own, because I feel like a lot of you guys kind of feel like a lot of shit is just out of your hands, and a lot of it is, but you gotta start becoming the author of your own story, group number 2, instead of being so fearful of what happened in the beginning of the story happening again in the future of your story. You just gotta get the pen and start writing your own story, group number 2. So yeah, that is what I see for what needs to be released, what needs to be healed. Let me know down in the comments how this reading resonates for you guys. If y'all are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, y'all can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below. And if you guys are interested in any of the decks that we use for today's tarot reading, we did use the Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck, as well as the Spirit Animal Oracle deck and the Modern Witch Tarot deck, all of which will be available for purchase on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below. Be sure to check that out if that is something you are interested in. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye. Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 3 with divination. And the bottom of the card says, take a breath, take it twice. Insightful reflections are guided by light. So what needs to be released? Okay, so we start off the reading with the 3 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. Immediately, I'm feeling like y'all are dealing with some type of heartbreak surrounding being put on the back burner, maybe in a relationship being juggled with somebody else, something along those lines, something surrounding not being prioritized or not being able to prioritize. And the reason for this is because you need to reflect, okay? Like, you need to self-reflect on something, because I'm feeling like there's some self-worth things going on that I feel like you're actually in the process of healing. But sometimes with the process of healing comes a process of hurting, and that's something that I feel like a lot of you guys are actually kind of getting through. This is definitely my pile for real, because with the divination right here, this lets me know that you guys have like natural intuitive abilities. With the card saying insightful reflections guided by light, we have the Judgment card. This card represents clarity, okay? Clarity. And I also kind of feel like in a way it can represent karma, right? Because if you look at the angel, the Judgment card, the way she's like standing over the people, kind of like, I don't want to say judging them, but this kind of what it's giving Judgment Day type of energy. So I don't know, I'm feeling like y'all need to release this, or I don't want to say release with this pile so much. I want to say heal. Okay, I feel like you need to heal this, because it's something surrounding you being juggled, you being kind of like mushed back and forth between you and someone else, or like you and something else. Like, I'm feeling like the people in your life just not prioritizing you the way that you should, and that is something that really needs to be healed and released. See, my thing with this pile is I feel like sometimes you get treated bad in a relationship, or you have a bad experience with someone, and then all of a sudden it seems like you're questioning your own self-worth, okay? A very close friend of mine, before she passed away, she told me that the way that somebody else treats me has no bearing on what I'm actually worth and what it is that I bring to the table. And I feel like that's the clarity that you guys really need to like that's the clarity that you guys really need to see, because the truth is you are a very, very powerful person in so many different ways, okay? And I feel like what really needs to be released is this idea that you're not worthy of the things that you want in life, the things that you want to experience, people who prioritize you, people who, you know, take their time with you, who listen to you. And with the Hermit card, I'm feeling like there's just a need for you to take some time away from everyone and everything to self-reflect. How do you feel today? How are you viewing yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you see and how do you feel? Are they favorable feelings? Because if they're not favorable feelings, then it's going to be kind of hard for other people to have those same favorable feelings towards you if you don't have them towards yourself. So what really needs to be healed is just you overall. And if you recently went through a heartbreak or a breakup or a separation, or maybe just something happened like within your family or something, or maybe you're just kind of been feeling kind of sad lately, and it's just because there's a lot of this stuff that needs to be released, and maybe there's too much going on around you for you to actually be able to release it properly, basically. I also pulled animal oracle cards. So the first card that we have here is the Wasp Spirit, which says sometimes life stings. Okay, so something stung you. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Something stung you. That's what needs to be healed. That's what needs to be released. Whatever it is that comes to mind, whatever it is that's been causing you pain, that's been causing you, you know, like emotional harm, that's been preventing you from feeling emotionally well, that's what needs to be released. For some of you, it could, like I said, it could have been like a recent situation, something that happened recently. Maybe you had to cut somebody out of your life. Maybe you had to separate yourself from something. Or maybe you're just so tired of feeling a certain type of way, you just want to be free, right? So with this particular pile, I feel like what really needs to be released, what really needs to be healed, you just have to free yourself. You have to free yourself from these binds, because the truth is you're naturally incredibly intuitive. This pile, some of y'all might read tarot. Some of y'all might read tarot or maybe be interested in reading tarot, but maybe you don't know how to, like, where to start with this particular pile. But the thing is, like I said, you're naturally intuitive. So maybe try reading for somebody else. If you decide to get like a deck of cards, try reading for somebody else before you read for yourself, because that'll kind of help you gauge like where you are in terms of like, I guess, learning how to read. But I feel like for a lot of you, it comes naturally. Now, divination comes in so many different forms. You can use divination pendulums, you can use tarot cards, which is my personal favorite, obviously. Astrology is also considered a form of divination. Whatever it is that you're interested in, or whatever it is that you kind of gravitate towards, I definitely think that maybe you should spend some time focusing on that, and like maybe even experimenting with that a little bit, so that you can get the answers and the clarity that you desire. But I'm feeling like there's other energies, there's other influences that are around you that are kind of preventing you from getting the clarity that you need, okay? And not to mention, I'm feeling like y'all are just in a like an emotional, I don't know what word to use, but I'm just feeling like your emotions are really being affected. Like, this is probably my pile that's going through like the most emotions. And this doesn't even have to be love related, y'all. Like, this can be caused by so many different things, but I am feeling like it has to do with the separation from something, a separation from something that you love. I'm also hearing that separation is an illusion. So I feel like when you're in tune with yourself, you're never going to be separate from anything or anyone that you love, because separation is an illusion. Time is something that keeps us separate. It's an illusion. You know, like physical space is something that keeps us separate as well. And I want to say that's an illusion too, but like, you got to understand, physical space is kind of something that really only exists here in this dimension. And oftentimes it'll be the thing that makes us feel the most pain, because we feel like we are separate from the things that we love, the things that we desire, the things that we want for ourselves. So basically what I'm getting is, what needs to be healed, what needs to be released. I feel like with this pile, maybe you guys recently uncovered something, discovered something, you realized something that kind of made you feel like, okay, I think I need to separate myself from this. I think I need to remove myself from this situation, whatever it might be. And it has caused you a lot of pain, okay? Because I'm just feeling like, y'all, maybe you're tired of juggling, or maybe you're tired of being juggled. And as soon as I said that, I heard the thunder just start booming. But what I'm feeling like is, you have to take that pain and turn it into wisdom. Like, when I say that you discovered something, you uncovered something that maybe kind of got you hurt, it says here with the wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. So I don't want to say don't victimize yourself, even though you are probably the victim in this situation that I'm picking up on, the situation that you need to kind of heal from, that you need to release and like unbind yourself from. I feel like you need to use that knowledge, like turn that knowledge into wisdom, something that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. Like, really implement that shit, because that way you won't have to repeat it. Once you really wrap your head around a certain karmic lesson, or you really like start to peep the karmic cycles, and you decide that you want to make a conscious effort to break free from that shit, you will never have to repeat those same lessons again. You will never again have to ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen to me? Why do I always experience this? Why do I always have to repeat this? And usually 9 times out of 10, the reason for that is because we didn't wrap our head around the first couple karmic lessons. Instead, we turned inwards and started beating ourselves the fuck up like we deserve that shit. But the truth is, you don't. Because like I said, how other people treat you is not a reflection of how you truly deserve to be treated. Honestly, it's a reflection of all the ways that you treat yourself, or in some cases mistreat yourself. So when a motherfucker decides to come in your life and do you dirty, don't internalize that shit and start treating yourself like you deserve that shit. You don't fucking deserve that shit. You never fucking did. And don't try to find ways to justify it, or like wrap your head around why someone would do something like that. Because listen, whatever the situation is, it's going to be different for a lot of you. But sometimes you experience like negative shit in your relationships, and you try to understand the person. That's how big your heart is, right? You try to understand the person. You try to understand why they would do something like that to you. But it comes to a certain point where you can't, right? You'll sit there and you'll drive yourself crazy, like, why would they do that? Like, I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. The truth is, it's going to be kind of hard for you to understand as somebody who just simply doesn't move like that, right? So when you feel like everyone around you or the world around you is just kind of like not aligning with the vision that you have for yourself, then you got to take some time to yourself to get more clarity on what it is that vision is. So that way you will have no problem stepping into your power and existing as your most authentic self, as your best self, right? Literally, it's like I was saying these things and the thunder is just giving me more and more clarity. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. With this pile, I was kind of struggling just a little bit. I was having a little bit of a hard time reading this just because it resonates a little heavily with me, y'all. Like it really truly does. And sometimes when, you know, like when I try to read for myself, I kind of fumble a little bit because I don't know, it's just a different type of energy, you know. And that's what I was saying with divination. If you guys are interested in like maybe practicing divination or starting divination, a lot of the times to gauge where you are, for a lot of us it's easier to try and read other people before we read ourselves, because when you have this ability, oftentimes like the best way to use it is to be of service to others, and eventually that'll help you to kind of get the clarity that you need so that you will kind of be able to serve yourself in the same way, if that makes sense. Like I have been reading tarot for so long and doing divination for so long that I can kind of read for myself, but reading for other people is like kind of like my go-to. It's my thing, you know. But doing so has kind of helped me to kind of learn to read for myself. But overall, I'm feeling like what needs to be healed, what needs to be released, it's that thing, you guys. It's that thing that has been weighing on you, that has been troubling you. Some of you guys need to take a spiritual bath, okay? To kind of cleanse yourself, cleanse your energy, cleanse your mind, your body, and spirit from the things that have hurt you, the things that have troubled you. So, there are so many different things that you can put in a spiritual bath, but the main thing I would recommend is salt. Pink Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, sea salt, both, all three if you have it. Florida water as well, throw that in the tub, you know, cut up some lemons, however many pieces you want, throw them in the tub. What the fuck else do I use? Just, I feel like I'm missing some, maybe a bay leaf if you got it, some herbs or some shit, you know. But the salt is really good if, you know, that's all you have. And dunk your head under that water 9 times. 9 times being like a personal baptism, 9 times being like a rebirth, 9 times being you being able to release the shit that has been weighing you down so that you can get the clarity that you need in order to fully step into your power and shamelessly be your authentic self. You gotta love you first, okay? Because a lot of the times it feels like the universe is just whooping our ass the hardest when we're not loving on ourselves, right? We're constantly putting that focus outside of ourselves before putting it inwards, and then wondering why we don't feel fulfilled on the inside. So that's what I feel like needs to be released. I sincerely hope that this reading was helpful. You guys, let me know down in the comments how this reading resonated for you guys. If you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below. And if you are interested in the decks that we used for today, I don't have them on the desk to show them off anymore, but we did use the Modern Witch Tarot deck, we used the Spirit Animal Oracle cards, and we also used the Seasons of the Witch Oracle. Both of those will be available for purchase on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below. Be sure to check that out if that is something you are interested in. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye! Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 4 with Witch. In the bottom of the card says, grab hold, allow the dwelling fire within belly, awaken all that is. A mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. Okay, so what do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? Okay, so immediately I'm feeling like you feel as though there is a lack of love. All of y'all feel like there's a lack of love in your life. Maybe there's not a lot of love in your life. Maybe you feel as though you haven't really gotten a chance to fully experience love, or not to the extent that you want it. It could be, I feel like for a lot of y'all, it's romantic love. And I feel like it kind of stems from some type of childhood trauma here, because we have the 10 of Cups reversed. This really is a broken family, you guys. And then the Ace of Cups reversed, this is a lack of love. For some of you guys, it can be also you kind of need to heal maybe from a breakup of sorts, because I think that this can also kind of represent a breakup. But really what I am interpreting here is a lack of love. Okay, this could have been a breakup. This could even be, since this card kind of came out under this could even be like maybe you found out that somebody was sneaking around on you or just being dishonest with you. Maybe you found yourself surrounded by a lot of dishonest people in your family, or you witnessed a lot of dishonesty in your life growing up, and it led to a lot of conflict. Some of you guys kind of grew up in really chaotic environments. Okay, I've been doing some research and stuff, like some psychological research on the different types of love styles and the different types of attachment styles, and there was one thing that I came across, and I think there's 5 types that pertain to family dynamics, and the one that stood out to me the most was the vacillator. So if you guys, I would recommend that you look into that, because vacillators, they oftentimes grow up in seriously chaotic households, right? Very, very unpredictable. They have unpredictable parents, and the adults around them are just extremely unpredictable, especially emotionally. Okay. And this led to a lack of stability within them, right? And oftentimes they find themselves fantasizing, idealizing, dreaming about what real love would be like. Oftentimes even if somebody would come in and save them. And this might not always be you, but this could have been you at one point. And what I'm seeing is it's just you created a safe space in your head to kind of avoid the drama and to avoid the conflict. Okay, this pile here is kind of traumatized. And I'm also hearing some of y'all even act a certain way, or you operate a certain way because there's a lot of shit within you that is suppressed. Sometimes you might think to yourself damn, I don't even know, why am I like this, right? I say that to myself all the time, why am I like this? But really, I just feel it kind of stems from a place that's suppressed. Maybe something that you haven't really looked at, maybe a trauma or something that you haven't really fully looked at or deep dived in. And I think the key to really getting to where it is that you want to be emotionally, because with this pile, I'm feeling emotions are the most important. We have the King of Cups and the Temperance card. You gotta find balance within yourself. Group number 4. Okay, you have to find that love within yourself. Okay, and I always preach this. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I really need to practice what I preach. But that's the key. When you grow up in circumstances that are extremely unfavorable, and you don't want to repeat those circumstances when you have your own family, the key is to find balance within yourself, right? With the Temperance card. Okay, so there's a need for you to balance all areas and all aspects of your life. If you feel like you're lacking in something, it's I feel like you need to dedicate more time and more focus to that area. So for example, if you are lacking money, right, I feel as though don't be giving it away, right? You guys might have a big heart, and you might be the type of person that will struggle and still kind of try to help people. But sometimes it's with this pile, I feel you kind of have to be just a little bit selfish to show yourself some love. This is how you got to make sure that your own cup is full, right? And it doesn't even have to pertain to money. If you are feeling emotionally drained, emotionally exhausted, do not pick up that phone every single time it rings. Okay, if you love somebody really deeply in your life, no matter what kind of relationship it is, but you feel like every time you end up around them or you talk to them, maybe you feel kind of drained, or maybe you can't even understand or pinpoint exactly what it is that you're feeling, but you know it's not favorable, maybe take a step back from that person and kind of learn to love them from a distance. Okay, if you're tired and you're exhausted all the time, maybe that means that you're not spending enough time with yourself. You're not giving yourself enough self-care time. You're not giving yourself enough rest. You're not giving yourself a chance to like recharge, so that you can kind of reach that state of like peak happiness, right? That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you guys, oftentimes your focus was kind of veered towards other people and other situations, anything but yourself, right? And then when you were completely drained and you were completely exhausted and you were completely, depleted, I feel like you guys kind of created that safe space in your head that you can always return to anytime you felt like you needed to go there, you needed to be there, right? For some of you guys, that safe space could be hiding up under your covers and like listening to music or putting in your headphones so that you don't have to hear the arguing or the yelling going on in your house. Or it's gonna be different for everybody, okay? But with this pile, I feel like you kind of need to release the lack of stability, the things that cause those feelings of the lack of stability, the chaos, the drama that has absolutely nothing to do with you, the pain that you have associated from being around dishonest people. Just because people around you want to be dishonest or like don't have the best motives does not mean that, it does not mean that you don't deserve honesty. It doesn't mean that that's something that you deserve, right? I said this to, I think, one or two of the other piles, but a very close friend of mine, before she passed away, she told me that the way that other people treat us does not determine, it does not define our worth. It does not define what we are worth. So when shit goes left, we need to not be in the state of like, why does this always happen to me? Maybe I did something to deserve that shit, or maybe I just don't deserve real love. Though literally, I don't even believe in the devil, y'all, but like, I swear that's the devil speaking for real. Like that's low vibrational energy. And to be honest with you, it's not even yours. For real, it's not even yours. I feel like a lot of you guys might have grown up around people who felt comfortable tearing you down when you were already down, to make themselves feel better, right? And so I also pulled some animal oracle cards for you guys to kind of see what is your advice. What is your advice? How can you release these things? How can you release this trauma and kind of heal from it? So we start off with the parrot, very interesting, which says watch your words. And I'm super excited to get into this because with the witch here, this lets me know that this pile in particular, y'all are incredibly powerful. Y'all are incredibly powerful. Like, y'all have the gift, which oftentimes might kind of seem like a curse, but y'all have the gift of being able to jinx things, okay, simply by saying them, simply by speaking them. You might say something along the lines of like, oh my gosh, I really hope this doesn't happen. I really hope that this experience doesn't happen this way, and then it ends up happening that way, or it ends up happening in a similar way. So with the parrot, it's saying watch your words, because when you're walking around with as much power as you have and you don't realize how much power you have, and you're just coming out your mouth saying anything, you gotta be careful. And when I say coming out your mouth saying anything, I'm not saying that y'all are like, being rude or being bad people with it, but I'm saying you're speaking things into existence that you don't want to experience sometimes. And I feel as though you do it unintentionally, but a lot of the things that you say kind of stem from shit that you subconsciously feel. And so when you speak those things into existence and they're less than favorable circumstances, or just completely not favorable circumstances at all, it comes from the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you said it. And I'm not saying that it's your fault. When shit goes left, it's not your fault. You might feel like that sometimes. But what I am saying is that you guys need to start becoming conscious of the stuff that you say, because if it's not something that you want to experience, it's not something that you should give your power to, your energy to. Your words are your power. Your words are your energy. They're like little employees that you send out to the universe with specific jobs that they have to do. That's kind of how manifestation works, y'all. The shit that you say, the shit that you put that energy behind, the feelings behind, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you always feel like you come across shitty people and you're constantly saying, all I get is shitty people, all I get is breadcrumbs, then guess the fuck what? The universe has no choice but to make you experience that, because that's the energy that you put out into the universe. I'm not saying don't acknowledge when fucked up shit happens. I'm not telling you not to acknowledge your feelings and how shit made you feel, but you have to understand that just because you experience it, maybe it's showing you something within yourself that you have yet to look at. So I kind of had to have the same conversation with group number 2 when bad shit happens to us in our experiences or in our relationship. Yeah, it's gonna hurt and we might have to cry about it, we might have to grieve about it for, you know, quite some time. But the thing is, you guys, your approach to the situation kind of needs to take on more of a perspective of, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? Because I really don't want to fucking repeat it again, right? Instead of, why does this always happen to me? I swear, I must be a bad person. I must have did some fucked up ass shit in my past life to have to experience this type of shit again. But no, the truth is this situation is supposed to, you know, teach you something. You know, like, for example, with the 7 of Swords, right? People being dishonest with you, but you still giving them the benefit of the doubt, even though your intuition is telling you otherwise. Which brings me to my next card, the Pig Spirit, which says, use your mind wisely. Watch your words and use your mind wisely. Watch your words and watch your thoughts. Because when you're this powerful, okay, you will be manifesting shit into your reality. And if you're not conscious of the things that you are thinking and saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if I'm in the mirror, this is just an example, y'all, that pertains to me. But if I'm in the mirror and I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, my eyebrows, they is fucking all over the place. Or like, bruh, like, I should probably do my makeup because I don't feel pretty right now. Like, shit like that. I will not hesitate to correct myself immediately, like I'm correcting a child. Like, no, we don't talk like that about ourselves. We look beautiful regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get on that camera right now in my damn bonnet. Just woke up and everything too, because I'm that confident in myself. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, sometimes I don't immediately believe the shit that I say, you know what I'm saying, or those little corrections that I give myself. But after implementing it over time, guess what happens? It comes to real life. Which brings me to the next card, which says, it's the Electric Eel Spirit. It says, bring your ideas to life. So this right here, this is my manifestation pile. This is my pile, like, what you say goes. Okay, the only thing separating you from everything that you desire in life is the illusion of separation, the illusion of you being separate from the things that you want, the things that you desire. This is my pile that steady sleeping on how powerful they truly are. That's what the fuck you need to release, okay? Your past, it does not define you, okay? It was there to teach you. But once you grasp the lesson, not from a place of victimization, but from a place of, okay, I see that I don't want that. I want this. Okay, I want this. And starting off by providing it with yourself, by making sure that your own cup is full, y'all, I fucking promise you, you cannot go wrong. That is the way this fucking simulation is set up. Y'all be sleeping on how powerful you actually are. Y'all are not some just regular old plain Jane ass bitches that just can't get what the fuck they want. Y'all are not basic, okay? And I'm not saying that to try and put anybody down, but what I'm trying to tell you is stop treating yourself like you a regular ass bitch, because you're not. You're not. Y'all are powerful as fuck. You ain't gotta be a witch or nothing, but when you understand the power that you carry and you're actually sitting and standing in your own personal power, I promise you shit will get better for you, okay? I promise. But what you need to focus on, what you need to do, you need to be more conscious of the shit that you're thinking and that you're saying. And if you catch yourself thinking or saying some shit that does not align with the ideas, the things that you actually want to bring to your life, correct yourself. Correct yourself how you would correct a small child, right? Or how you would correct your wounded inner child. When you were a child, were you looking in the mirror thinking to yourself that you were ugly and saying that you were ugly? Is that what other people were saying to you? Because if that's what you were saying to yourself, that's likely how other people people viewed you, that's how other people think of you. If you viewed yourself as disposable, or you viewed yourself as just not important, if you didn't have yourself on that pedestal and your family members or whoever raised you didn't teach you about self-love, now is the time for you to teach yourself. And that's a process, y'all. It's a process, but I promise you'll get there. You will heal from this shit and you will release this shit by making sure your own cup is full. Make sure your own cup is full. Stay out of the fucking drama that does not fucking concern you, okay? And if it does concern you, still fucking stay out of it, because you need more balance in your life, right? With the Temperance card. And whether that balance is like your emotions, maybe your self-care time, maybe your work-home life balance, you know, maybe your social life balance. Whatever it is that you feel like is out of whack, you gotta prioritize putting more of that into yourself. If you notice your mental health is slipping, you are not obligated to be there for anybody but yourself, okay? You might have been taught otherwise, but I assure you that's not the case, you guys. So that is the message that I have for all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 4. I sincerely hope that this reading was helpful. If you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys could book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below. And if you are interested in any of the decks that we used for today's tarot reading, we did use the Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck, the Modern Witch Tarot deck, as well as the Animal Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed, all 3 of which will be available for purchase on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below. Be sure to check that out if that is something you are interested in. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye!